G'day guys and welcome back to this week's fishing report. Let's get straight into what's been biting around Sydney this week. There's been a lot of jewfish being caught at night time, particularly around the bridges of the Georges River. A lot of people have been using strip baits, so squid and live baits as well, along with soft plastics at night time around all of our bridges and popular jewfish spots. A few people have been targeting them during the day with some really good consistent captures throughout the last week. Over the past week, there's also been a lot of bream being caught, especially around the rock bars, boat moorings, and pontoons. Particular, a lot of the bream are being caught consistently at the moment, with a lot of captures on lures underneath pontoons, moored boats, and rocky foreshores. It's particularly along the rock faces where there's a deep drop off. The bream have been hanging around in the current, waiting for some bait to come pushing past them, and they've just been absolutely smashing soft plastics. A lot of bream fishermen have been out over the last couple of weeks catching some really nice bags of bream. The estuary perch have also started to come on as well. I know last week I was speaking about me going out and catching an estuary perch for the first time. I managed to get my first ever estuary perch on the weekend, and there was quite a few other boats and kayaks around where I was fishing, and they managed to get really good catches of estuary perch, tailor, and bream as well. So further up the system, the fishing seems to be picking up throughout the winter as the water gets colder. It's a little bit warmer up in those shallower, more brackish areas, and the fish are starting to congregate up in those warmer waters. Looking to the weather for this weekend, the weather this weekend being a long weekend, it's looking pretty good. Saturday might have a little bit of rain about with a bit of wind. Saturday morning's looking the best to go out and have a fish, with a westerly to southwesterly being pushed throughout the day, increasing as the day goes on. Over the weekend, the wave and the swell height looks to be increasing, Saturday morning being the lowest at about 1.2, with Sunday and Monday heading up to that 1.8, 1.9 meters. So if you're thinking about going out offshore, Saturday morning might be your best bet to find the most calm conditions to be able to have a fish. Heading over to our moon phase and tides now, we've got some really good tides over the weekend, with some low tides at the sunrise. We've got roughly a midday 10 to 12 o'clock high tide, and then a low again at sunset. So we've got some really good tide changes at really good times this weekend over Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. This is mainly because we've got the new moon. The new moon happened on Thursday, and there's still going to be quite a lot of big tides hanging around over the weekend. So if we're going out for a fish this weekend, we're going to start planning for what we would like to do this weekend. If you've got a decent sized boat, maybe Saturday morning head out offshore, see if you can't get a snapper, flathead, kingfish is still biting out off the reefs. If you head south of Cronulla, you might be able to get yourself a nice kingfish around the cliffs there. If you are a bit wary to go out offshore because the wind is meant to kick up pretty early on Saturday morning, the rivers are still fishing really well. I would suggest finding areas where there is back eddies moving around points and fishing those calmer currented areas, followed by some really strong current around it. So if we can find some really nice points where there's some back eddies, the fish should be congregating there, waiting for bait fish to come along in those really strong currents. Fishing into the current and letting your lure drift back down with the current is going to be key. So if you've got an electric motor and you love fishing lures, heading around the points and all those back eddies is going to prove, hopefully, really good success for you. Again, speaking about the moon, we've got some really good moon rises and moon sets, with the moon rise at 8:40 a.m. on Saturday morning. That will push a little bit later over Sunday and Monday, with some really good tide changes associated with that. So we can link up a moon rise and also a moon set later on in the afternoon as well, with a tide change. So that hopefully will bring about more fish activity over the weekend. My plans for the weekend will be very forecast dependent. Currently, the forecast is looking not so great to be able to go offshore, so offshore might not be an option. So I'm really going to have to think about what conditions I'm willing to be able to fish in to be able to go out offshore, and see if they are going to either die off and the winds are going to back off a lot. Therefore, that might make it more conducive for me to be able to go out offshore. If so, I probably will try and head out offshore if the conditions suit. Again, if we're talking about conditions that suit my type of boat, we're talking about a 1.6 or less meter swell and winds that are less than 20 kilometers an hour. Currently, we have a swell that's at less than 1.6, but a lot of wind about, which is way above what I would like to be comfortable to be able to go out offshore and have a fish. So for the plans for me this weekend will be to fish a lot of moored boats, a lot of structure, maybe even find a few salmon about. There's been a few schools running around a lot of the rivers lately, and they just haven't been busting up on the surface, so they haven't been very easy to find. Normally salmon this year, when they start busting up, they're very easy to find, obviously, because it's a visual type of fishing. But I might troll around some hard bodies to see if I can find the school, and then use some soft plastics to see if I can't get a nice little catch of salmon throughout the weekend. If not, moored boats, lots of structure. I'm going to be targeting estuary perch. I think I'm starting to get addicted to chasing estuary perch and brim in the rivers at the moment, especially during winter time. So you might see me over the next couple episodes targeting estuary perch or brim over the winter time on soft plastics, particularly very, very lightweighted soft plastics or very small hard bodies. So it's a bit of excitement for me personally, because it's not a lot of techniques that I do often. So it's going to be very conditions or weather dependent. Wake up in the morning, see what it's looking like, go out, check the live feeds on Willy Weather or any weather app, and just making my decision that morning. I'll have my plan A and plan B. Plan A probably for Saturday will be try and target snapper on the shallow reefs, and if not, then I'm going to be heading in the estuaries to see what's going on. I'd really, really love to catch some salmon. I've got a fly rod at the moment. I'd love to catch my first fish on a fly. I've hooked a fish on a fly rod, but I haven't landed a fish on the fly rod yet. So that's also something that I might try and do over the weekend as well. So plan B, if we're going to be in the river, I'm going to head around a lot of structures, so points, deep rocky edges, targeting estuary perch and brim, fishing under moored boats, pontoons, all that sorts of stuff, to be able to try and see what we can catch and try something a bit different for once. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all go have a fish this weekend. It's going to be a beautiful weekend and a beautiful long weekend. Hopefully I see you all out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.